All right. So we have Athena1993x. I think we're just going to call her Athena. But there is a Pidgeot. That is my favorite flyer. But we have Pidgeot, Steelix, Shadow Alola Ninetales, Unnovan Stunfisk, Jellicent, and Vigoroth.
Mm-hmm. It's a very strong pick 6. And then we've got Cresselia, Toxapex. We've got Altaria, Scrafty, Defense Deoxys, and Carbink. As I mentioned before,
there it is.
Got the Carbink coming out.
All right, so we know
really
who the grinder is on that team.
Exactly. Or maybe it's a hundo. We don't know.
Could be. I do think that the after looking at the bans, there's no ice type bans, but like the Bastiodon ban, the Galarian Stunfisk, like even Metacham ban, there's a lot of things that are like, I dare you to pick Altaria, and then picks Altaria, happens to get into the team with the Steelix, the Jellicent has Ice Beam if it needs, probably running Surf, Shadow Ball now. And then the Alola Ninetales, even Pidgeot landing a Brave Bird does a lot of damage and can, in certain scenarios, take down...
Are you saying that Pidgeot landing Brave Bird does a lot of damage versus Carbink?
Oh, sorry, during the Altaria. To the Altaria.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The Carbink, I have never seen a Carbink battle, so I don't know what's going to happen to that.
I think the Carbink looks terrifying, but honestly, Athena did bring a lot of Carbink counters, right? Like, mainly, I guess mainly the Stunfisk, yeah. But the Jellicent definitely has a positive matchup. Everything else can, the Bulldoze can kind of fight against it. But I think that Vigoroth, well, Steelix has a very negative matchup versus Carbink, right?
Like, wait, really?
Even if it has Earthquake, I think that Earthquake does like less than 50%. Of course, that's to a very high rank Carbink. Carbink has about the same amount of bulk as the Bastiodon. So it does. I think it does for like 45% to a high rank Carbink. To a low rank Carbink, it does like 55%. But yeah, wow. and obviously the fast moves are doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Of course. Yeah. So yeah, Carbink to me looks terrifying just because I ran into so many Carbinks in the whatever it was, the cup recently.
Like Little Jungle or
Fossil,
something?
The Fossil Cup.
Fossil.
Yeah. But yeah, Athena did bring 3 counters to Carbink. I'm interested to see if Herm brings it.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're ready to hand it on over to the battles, see what this Carbink does.
Carbink. Super excited to be playing Carbink.
It's just rude, honestly.
What? Why?
And we're getting right into it with that Pidgeot that I love so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that Athena brought Pidgeot. I love it.
And avoiding a Carbink too, because it is brought by Herm13 as the Cresselia, your 5-star legendary that's out right now, is doing some good work. And oh girl, get yourself Cresselia and make sure you're making those trades to have it in Great League, because it is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, and this is a matchup that Cresselia doesn't love. Unfortunately, all the moves that it has right here are resisted. Oh, actually, no. I mean, the Fuchsia Sight, it will do a lot of like neutral damage, but it is still like not a lot to the Steelix. Steelix actually has access to Crunch, which, I mean, we don't have the other side of the screen, so I'm not sure if it's running it. But just the Psychic Fangs stacking that, like increasing that Dragon Tail damage is going to put a lot of hurt on this thick Pokemon like Cresselia. And we do see the Crunch.
With that debuff and that Crunch now going through, that is super. That's some good hurt. Nothing hits Cresselia. Not even an Earthquake could take half the health of Cresselia.
Oh my gosh.
Debuff
Look at how little that Grass Knot did. Good gracious. And Steelix able to farm all the way down. So Herm has quite a choice here. I mean, you send back in the Scrafty, you'll get a little bit of damage and an extra bit of energy. You are going to get debuffed here, I highly suspect. And then the Pidgeot will come back out. I mean, it seems... We can't see what Athena has in the back, but I'm really hoping it's an answer for this Carbink, because we see Herm clicking on it immediately.
Whoop,
Oh,
there goes the rock
no.
throws. Those rock throws
No.
super effective against it. I mean, really, hopefully it's not that Charm Tails in the back, but a Feather Dance will debuff nothing nothing that Pidgeot does. It is, and that's
my gosh,
not what you
called
want to
it.
see.
Oh, no.
either. Yeah.
This is brutal.
Charm Tails seems like it would be really good in this meta right now, but the problem is that this rock throw is just chunking away, super effective. Doesn't have to shield, but can now. And also can lose the, remember, this is a debuff Feather Dance debuff rock throw. So just biding the time until the switch clock comes back. Gotta take care of this Ninetales before Scrappy comes back. Yeah.
These charms are doing an actual significant amount of damage on this Carbink. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. And now Ninetales giving up both shields to try and charm all the way down so that it will get a little bit of extra charm damage against this Scrafty. But now this power-up punch and 2 shields is going to make this Scrafty really dangerous, even to Pidgeot.
Yo, there is a ton of energy on that Ninetales, and he got the power-up punch before to take it out. That was huge. Not giving up a shield now. Can go for the 2 shields here. Debuff him all he wants. All he's got to do is throw those foul plays.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the foul play, I think, ready now, and does click immediately on that. I mean, I think even debuffed at this health range, this might be enough to knock out the Pidgeot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really debuff. It's just back to what it normally was, and there it is.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's like, let's do the math, right? It's like, well, I did 1 power up, but then you did 2 debuffs, so we're -1.
-1.
Listen,
now.
I went to art school. I'm not a math student, so what I do know is that Herm has now earned the BTW Trace team 1 point in this match.
And that is what you need, a point for sure. You're never out of the fights. If Factions has taught us anything, getting your team a point is always good. Unfortunately for the Professor, he couldn't get his team a point, but Herm is here to make up for it, and Herm comes in with the defense Deoxys on the Pidgeot. He said, all right, different counter. Anti-Pidgeot counter now. And
exactly.
He gets the call.
Yeah, we do see Deoxys has this Thunderbolt, and as well as the typical Psycho boost, but Pidgeot can outpace. And interesting that this is going to be the Brave Bird, a significant amount of damage, and Pidgeot swaps out immediately into that Charm Tails, going to be met by a Thunderbolt, but this won't be enough to KO.
No, and oh my goodness, 1, giving the way that you got the Thunderbolt instead of the Rock Slide might be good for game 3. But 2, letting the Brave Bird go through, and that Deoxys is now in the deep red. Cresselia now going to take the brunt of all of this damage.
Yeah, I mean, Cresselia is a tanky Pokemon, as we saw in that previous matchup, but after a while, it doesn't love to sit in these matchups, and we do see this Cresselia going straight for the Future Sight. This is going to do a major amount of damage if unshielded.
And it saw the future, and it wasn't getting shielded. It was in its sight, and Cresselia strikes with another power-up whip. Or
exactly. I mean, Charm Tails is really scary in the right matchups, but it just does not have, like, Charm just does not allow it to get to its moves as quick as it needs, and Cresselia is quite the opposite. It has no fast move pressure, but it can get to its attacks super quickly.
I mean, kudos to Athena for bringing back Charm Tails. It is a wonderful Pokemon for sure, and she married it up real nicely, chunking away at Carbink, chunking away at this Cresselia, but Cresselia had the future. Now she's got to deal with the steel and gonna let it go.
Yeah, Athena rightly throws right before the Cresselia can throw the next Grass Knot. So this Crunch will get rid of the Cresselia. And you have 2 counter users ready here, but the Deoxys is so low health and it's not got a lot of energy. So Scrafty comes in to get some nice farm, but we do see a quick swap into the Pidgeot.
This is interesting. Double fighter, and now you've got to worry about Pidgeot. You said you love Athena and her Pidgeot, and she's going to make it terrorize Herm right now, but she don't let it go down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, can Pidgeot farm all the way down? No, Deoxys has to throw the Psycho Boost to get this Pidgeot out of the way before it can get too much energy.
And there's her last shield, and it was so important too, because now she has the charge move, but the problem is that she's got to worry about another shield on Herm.
Oh my gosh, she's going to debuff this Scrafty. I mean, which is a nice play. Now the Steelix does have energy ready, but this matchup is pretty painful for the Steelix.
Yeah, the thought here, and I like where Athena's head is at. Debuff so that the Dragon Tails can do it. Crunch is still so bad of a neutral move. You're not going to put that damage down on a Crunch, but you are with the Psycho Fangs. Or it's like, so getting that and doing the Dragon Tail damage that you do, and a second one, hopefully you can get to the third. It does not look like Athena is going to be able to, though.
I don't think you're going to be able to, because just one more counter should be enough. Oh, Scrafty does get to the power-up punch right before the Steelix can get to that Psychic Fangs. This is definitely enough to get Steelix out of the way.
And look at how red Scrafty was, too. Really, one more Dragon Tail or one more Psychic Fang, and it was off the table. Athena had a great adjustment there and was able to get the W.
It's true. I mean, I think that she made some really smart plays there. Honestly, it's the same way that I would have played that game. And it brought a matchup that seems really straightforward on paper, like into the red, you know, where you might not think it would go to with Steelix versus a Scrafty. But here we are. Herm does have 2 points now for BTW Trace, and we have our third matchup here, and we see a different team entirely on both sides.
Yeah, I was literally about to ask you think Toxapex is going to come and play now that we've seen Ninetales in Pidgeot so much? And it is in the back for Herm as the Cresselia throws off the first Grass Knot. Super effective against this Ghost. But Princess Jelly is on fuego. She's so thick.
It's true. It's true. Jellicent is also a thick and tanky Pokemon. Can take that first Grass Knot and overfarm quite a bit. Going to go straight now for the Shadow Ball, but Herm calls it.
Great call by Herm there to shield that Shadow Ball. And I like Athena's call now to get the shield, give the shield mental strategy in the game, because she's going for that second Shadow Ball.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I would not be surprised if she definitely goes straight for the Shadow Ball to try and get this Cresselia out of the way. It has been such a pain in previous matchups. And we do see that Shadow Ball land for quite a bit of damage.
I mean, Cresselia is so thick. It'll stay alive to throw up another charge move.
Exactly. And this Jellicent is out of the way. I mean, Steelix comes in to get a little bit of farm because Cresselia cannot get to another charged attack. But now Scrafty gets to come in and get quite a bit of extra energy.
This is interesting. I wonder if she'll swap to the Fisk with the Scrafty out, because
you have to.
I mean, right?
You have to.
And what a draw by Herm13 to now get rid of the Hardwall Mud Boy away from Toxicroak.
And you can't. I mean, he swaps into Toxapex, but this is not a matchup that Toxapex wants to be in either.
No.
But still, having the Scrafty Steelix matchup in the back is a lot safer for Herm. So, I mean, the swap is kind of inevitable. But, I mean, if this Stunfisk from Athena gives up shields and it can overfarm, it can get quite a bit of, like, super effective damage onto this Pokemon. Because the Brines are not going to do that much.
No. And you know what? I'm realizing now on Herm's team, it's a very sneaky, tanky team with Toxapex, Cresselia, Altaria, Defense, Deoxys, and Carbink. So is this a one-moved Unova Fisk? Is that
I mean,
Miss Athena rocking a one-move Fisk? We'll never know, because she swapped out immediately.
She does swap out because now that the Toxapex is out of the way, she wants to get as many debuffs on this Scrafty as possible while the Steelix is healthy. I like that play a lot.
We talked about it too. Those Dragon Tails are just going to start adding up. But now she's got a third Pokemon to help her out in the back. Let's hope that she can get it going and maybe even make a catch.
Yeah, and she does use the last shield here to protect this Steelix and keep it in the game long enough to get even more debuffs on debuffs on debuffs. It's so interesting that the Steelix from Athena is coming out just to lower the defense of Scrafty as much as it can, but Scrafty is just throwing Power-Up Punch to up its attack as much as it can.
Right, like, oh my goodness. Here's the thing, it's so interesting to watch. And oh no! She couldn't get it off. That was huge. And she knows how huge that was too. As Athena quits or ends the matchup, as the counters from that Scrafty were so boosted that the Steelix could not get that last psychic thing, which was so needed. Unfortunately,
that would have been the game win, is if it could get one more debuff. I mean, the Unovan Stunfisk was close enough to a move that if it could land that Mud Bomb, on such a debuff Scrafty, that might have been it. But unfortunately, the timing was not on Athena's side there.
Yeah,